news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
This is the ATN Global News. First, the headlines. Local government tenure ends. Falga chairman escaped death. Police raid IPOP camp, arrest suspect in Anambra State. Senate expects supplementary budget in July from Tinubu. FG invites 80 private jet owners for operational screening. Tinubu attends President Cyril Ramaphosa's inauguration in South Africa. Rangers plans for next season's CAF Champions League. AGN holds candlelight service for late Nollywood veterans. A very beautiful evening to you, and thank you for joining us on the Global News. Alright, we're glad to have you back. Now, moving on to the details of the stories. 3 years tenure of local government in River State has ended, and non-state actors, particularly youth of the various local government areas, took to the council secretariat to chase out the chairman and from their offices. In reaction to the tenure, Governor Sim has directed administrative councils Our roving team went round the state to gather firsthand of what was happening in Port Harcourt City. The chairman, Allwell Ihunde, was chased out of office. Our correspondent who monitored activities in the areas reports that Allwell Ihunda was seen scampering for safety after being chased by angry youth in the local government area. And as at the press time, it is unclear if anybody was shot following the ugly situations. In other local government area, report from Omuma local government area said a police officer and a vigilante member have been shot dead. The LMA Council Secretariat had been taken over and sealed by youth in the area, insisting that the LGA chairman must step down. Some reports in Dagama, Emoha, Ikwere, and Ahoda East and Ahoda West local government area. This is coming after an appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt had ruled that parties involved in a legal battle between the 26 Rivers lawmakers led by Martins Amewule and the governor of Rivers State to maintain status quo pending hearing of the matter on the 20th of June 2024. River State Police Command says its operatives were not involved in any shooting, as been widely reported. This is coming after some major youth had stormed the Port Harcourt City Council Secretariat to protest against the tenure elongation by the local government chairman, who were expected to vacate their offices on Monday. One of the leaders of the Port Harcourt City youth, identified simply as Iche Manti, alleged that one of the protesting youth was shot at by the police during the sporadic shootings, while the River State Police Public Relations Officer Grace Ringe Koko denied the allegation, saying the
120 years, you're not going to live forever.
Meanwhile, George Chinda maintained that it is appropriate to applaud achievers and democracy.
We also know that there's no two clans that is the same. There are other factors, peculiarities that makes this thing to differ. People had been there prior to this time. Those projects were not awarded in the last 8 months, and they left it undone. Someone came with the passion to ensure that this project, knowing the importance of this project to the Nigerian people, decided to embark on this project, and today those projects are reality. People are using it. And you say we should not give praise to such a person. I don't believe in that.
The Authorities of the Citizens Network for Peace and Development in Nigeria disclosed this in Abuja. Edo State People's Democratic Party has advised ex-deputy governor Philip Shaibu to resign his membership over his support for the All Progressive Congress APC. Shaibu, a PDP member, declared that he would be supporting the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Monday Okwebolo, in the September 21 governorship election in the state. In his reaction, the Deputy Director General of the media arm of the Edo PDP Governorship Campaign Council, Reverend Olu Martin, described Shaibu's reason for supporting the APC candidate as baseless. Other than that, it was contradictory for the Shaibu to remain in the PDP and be working against the candidates of the party. This is coming after the Shaibu contested on the revered Oba of Benin by Akpata supporters on platforms such as Twitter and Facebook.
That has such powers to investigate any denomination if there are.
This is coming after the operatives of the Delta State Police Command arrested a general overseer simply identified as Bishop Godfrey alongside his wife on allegations over an attempt to kidnap a bishop in Abahor Ugeli North local government area of the state. International organization known as Global Right has urged civil society groups and all non-profits to ensure they comply with the regulatory extant laws to avoid impediments to the smooth running of their activities, which are described as pure service to humanity. The program manager, Global Right, Dosa Oviawe, who disclosed this in Uyo Akwa Ibom State Capital during a regulatory compliance training for civil society groups supported by the European Union with the theme Strengthening a Community of Practice to Improve CSO Regulatory Environment in Nigeria, said a lot of civil society groups are losing credibility and recognition in the country, not because they were not doing a good job, but because of their poor compliance with instant laws and regulations. He also observed that some civil society groups, after registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission, would go to sleep without knowing that the registration comes with some obligations other than that. The training was aimed at equipping them with requisite knowledge on how to follow thorough after registration so that they would not be kicked out or incur avoidable penalties. Delivering a paper on corporate and allied matters, Adekunle Deji, a professor of law and senior advocate of Nigeria, advised civil society groups to comply with the regulations that affect their operations, which include tax law, corporate government law, money laundering law, and pension law, noting that ignorance of these is not an excuse in law. He also advised them to always hit the ground running as soon as they are incorporated by filing annual returns, whether they are doing any project or not, and ensure they have a compliance officer that will remind them of their compliance schedule and the time to file in their returns to avoid penalties. Governor Basi Ocho of Cross River State has disclosed that various leakages in international border trade between Nigeria and Cameroon result in losses exceeding $15 million. It said the burgeoning trade at the MFU international border does not yield any meaningful revenues to the state tax net, and advised that the substantial trans-African trade through the border be closely monitored. Ocho, who spoke when he hosted a team from the World Bank in Calabar, the state capital, said the team was in Cross River State on a fact-finding mission to federal government agencies in the state, as well as to examine issues limiting trans-African free trade. He called on the World Bank and other multilateral agencies to assist in bridging the socio-economic gap between Africa and the rest of the world, and also described the team's visit have vowed to hunt down the killers of the commander of the Nnewi vigilante Eluka Obajekwe. Obajekwe was killed on Monday by gunmen suspected to be separatists who were enforcing the abolished sit-at-home protest initiated by the indigenous people of Biafra. He was killed alongside two others during a gun duel between the criminals and vigilante operatives. The operatives had chased the criminals from Nnewi to Nobi after they abducted an innocent citizen before the duel occurred. A statement by their spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga and Nweke respectively, they promised to stop at nothing to ensure that the killers are arrested and brought to justice. Progress of the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television blew out the socio-political analyst Omeya Victor said Nigerians must aim higher at all times as a nation.
For me, it's a welcome development because there's this saying that peace is priceless. Wherever you find yourself as a human, you're expected to live in harmony with the people around you. And of course, without peace, Nigeria cannot move forward, as all the economic and commercial activities in Nigeria and every part of Nigeria will be shut down.
In a bid to tackle farmers' headers clash across the we arrested, Ikenga said the police-led joint security force in Aguata carried out the operation following information received over time of planned attacks on security agents and innocent citizens by the dreaded group. Other than that, the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Nahe Itam, ordered investigations to be widened and deepened to identify hideouts of the insurgents seeking to destabilize and truncate development in the state. The Commissioner of Police also assured Indianambra that the police command under his watch will continue to serve the people selflessly and will jealously protect the sources of his information to protect informants from harm. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has charged one Nweke Izichukwu Jude before the Federal High Court in Enugu for allegedly impersonating officers of the anti-graft agency. A statement by the EFCC via X said Jude was docked before Justice Mohammed Garba Umar on 2-count charges bordering on impersonation and obtaining by false pretense to the tune of 1 million when rescued. The spokesperson for the command, Benjamin Hyundin, who disclosed this via a text message, said the brothers identified as Abbas Afwani, Yusuf Afwani and Amatal Afwani were abducted in Lagos and were rescued last night in Orubo, Edo by men of the Marine Police. One of the brothers is the managing director of Afwani Nigeria Limited that specializes in electronics and is a sole distributor of LG products in Nigeria. Oba Adebayo lived an impactful life of service to the town, Ekiti State, Nigeria, and humanity, for which he would remain unforgettable. Middle-aged man was allegedly shot dead by the Kogi State Capital pending the completion of repairs at the Greater Lokoja Waterworks, which was damaged by floods in 2012. According to the commissioner, the state government is taking pragmatic steps to replace equipment submerged at the Greater Lokoja Waterworks, though these will take at least 12 months to complete, and emphasize the administration's commitment to addressing the water scarcity, appealing to residents for patience while assuring them that efforts were being made to resolve the issue. The commissioner seized the opportunity to intimate journalists about the arrest of some, saying that the procurement process of Greater Lokoja Waterworks is about 80%, stressing that to settle a debt of over 1 million naira owed his creditor, the chairman of the Kacha local government area of Niger State, Danlamin Abdullahi Saku, has been attacked and beaten by hoodlums in the council. This is coming after the local government chairman borrowed the money from one Alhaji Yanda of the same area and failed to repay. The incident occurred in the area when his creditor conveyed a message to him through some boys in the area demanding he slapped one of the boys, leading to a fight that saw the chairman beaten to a pulp. It was further gathered that undisclosed hospital to the public relations officer, SP Wasiu Abiodun, said information was received at Kacha Division that the chairman Kacha Lekki Government Area, Honorable Danlami Abdullahi Saku, was attacked by some Misko Government Area of Kaduna State. Eyewitnesses said the deceased persons were killed while attending a village meeting, while the bandits set some motorcycles of the victims ablaze. The bodies of the victims were recovered from the scene of the incident. Also, another resident of the community, the people killed. Other than that, the bandits attacked the innocent villagers in broad daylight and were killed. Kaduna Police Command's Public Relations Officer ASP Masir Hassan is yet to make any comments on the matter. Suspected armed robber who allegedly stabbed an 18-year-old POS operator to death in Taraba State has been set ablaze. The incident took place near the Yam Market in Wukari local government area. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, says The Federal High Court and the National Industry Court have no jurisdiction to determine chieftaincy matters. Falana, in a statement he personally signed in Abuja, accused both courts of separately conferring jurisdiction on themselves to determine chieftaincy matters and described both decisions as highly erroneous as they cannot be justified under Section 251 and 254C of the Constitution. Other than that, both courts conveniently overruled the judgment of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal on the subject matter. He said the intervention of the Federal High Court in the dispute arising from the position of Emir Ado Bayero and Co., as well as the restoration of Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, is a brazen repudiation of the decision of the Supreme Court and the celebrated the 5 government of Gongola State, where it was held that the question raised and the claim is not a fundamental right question. While in the first prayer, the right to be emir is not guaranteed by the fundamental right provisions of the Constitution, and the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction whatsoever in the matter. The Court of Appeal was therefore not in error of law to hold that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to grant the 2 reliefs. This is coming after a Federal High Court in Kano last week ruled that it has jurisdiction to hear that human rights violation case filed by the dethroned Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, and Senior Counsel.
The Fact Today, only on ATN.
They vote for government, but we not get good governance at all. Roads so no day, light outside, the infrastructure we can't talk to be forbidden fruit for the people. Corruption, well everything.
Hello? Hello, I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes, we saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy where they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, And they agree give us time. Oh. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption. Not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? Eh? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my meter so that you don't go to read it.
You know they behave like tea, all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What's in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish. I don't drink.
Wait, you drink am now. At the sell and plantain, I go come put on for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
We're glad to have you back. This is the Global News and Atlantic Television Network News. Now the rest of our stories. The Senate says that it is expecting President Bola Tinubu to send the 2024 supplementary budget to the legislators for approval after resumption. The Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu said the 6.6 trillion naira supplementary budget, although still being computed by the executive, would be sent to the National Assembly after its July 2nd resumption. When asked about the budget size, considering that the minister said that the supplementary budget would fund part of the coastal road, while the budget size is 6.6 trillion naira. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu made 29 speech to the joint sitting of the Senate and House of Representatives at the National Assembly complex, where he said the government would soon present the supplementary budget for the 2024 fiscal year, and the supplementary budget will be spent on 4 identified transformational projects. The Senate spokesperson also planned to fund the rehabilitation and expansion of dams and irrigation schemes to support increased production within the economy. United Nations Children Fund says it has gained 1 million subscribers on the Nigerians Learning Passport. Other than that, it was a testament to the collective commitment to ensuring that every child in Nigeria has access to the quality education regardless of their location or circumstances. The UNICEF in a press statement said the Nigerian Learning Passport has reached a remarkable milestone of 1 million subscribers, describing it as a milestone in educational access in the country. UNICEF Nigeria representative Christian Moondade said the platform is bridging the educational gap and providing opportunities for children to learn and thrive, especially in remote and underserved communities. Underserved communities. The UNICEF Nigeria rep also said that Nigeria Learning Passport has been instrumental in addressing the educational disruptions caused by the pandemic, and most recently by natural hazards and attacks on schools, while ensuring that children continue to learn in a safe and supportive environment, and that the platform's user-friendly interface has made it accessible to learners. And on business news, President Bola Tinubu says that Nigeria must find a way to tackle banditry, terrorism, and bad roads to address food price hikes. During Galali, the presidential spokesperson in a statement on Tuesday said President Bola Tinubu made this known when he met with the delegation of the National Assembly in Lagos. Tinubu stressed that 60 to 70% of food damage in Nigeria due to bad roads, banditry and terrorism, while the president's comment comes as Nigerians continue to groan over food rising prices. The National Bureau of Statistics' latest Consumer Price Index and inflation report said Nigeria's headline and food inflation surged to 33.95% and 44.66% in May 2024. Federal government through the Nigerian Customs Service has invited about 80 private jet owners for proper operational screening at the headquarters of the Nigerian Customs Service in Abuja with their aircraft import documents. The special aircraft import verification exercise, which begins on Wednesday tomorrow, is expected to last for 30 days, according to a public notice issued by Customs. According to the notice, owners and operators of the private jets in the country are to come with some relevant documents, including aircraft certificate of registration, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority's flight operation compliance certificate, NCCA's maintenance compliance certificate, as well as NCCA's permit for non-commercial flight and temporary import permit, if applicable. The latest plan to clamp down on operators of improperly imported private jets came more than 1 year after the federal government suspended the action, while in the past 3 years, the government had planned to recover import duty running into billions of naira from some private jet operators who had used certain technical loopholes to evade the payment of import duty. A few private jet owners paid the mandatory import duty after the Hamid Ali-led Nigerian Customs Service took some significant steps to recover the revenue, while several owners and operators of private jets in the country are yet to pay the statutory duty. Director General of the National Agency for Food and Administration and Control, Professor Moji Adeye, has advised Nigerians to refrain from storing cooked food in the refrigerator for more than 3 days. Adeye warned that cooked food stored in the refrigerator for days is susceptible to contamination by disease-causing pathogens, the key agents of foodborne diseases that can lead to death. A statement signed by the agent's resident media consultant Sayo Akintola said in commemoration of the 2024 World Food Safety Day with the theme Food Safety, Prepare for the Unexpected. They have urged stakeholders in the food supply chain to take deliberate actions to institute a food safety culture in their operations to mitigate food hazards and risks that could compromise food safety. The World Food Safety Day celebrated annually was established by the United Nations General Assembly Task Force in 2018 to raise awareness and encourage efforts to prevent, detect and address public health risk linked to unsafe food. Other than that, food safety is not only important for public health, but a sine qua non for economic development and food security. She also said food safety is a collective responsibility. Other than that, everyone from producers to consumers needs to play their part to ensure food safety, and the campaign aims to promote global food safety awareness to strengthen efforts of preventing, detecting and managing foodborne risk globally by highlighting the importance of being prepared for food safety incidents. You are still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is the international tidbit. President Bola Tinubu has departed Lagos for Pretoria to attend the inauguration of the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. The Nigerian leader left the presidential wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, on a Dassault Falcon as president for a second term. This is coming after lawmakers in Cape Town voted overwhelmingly to put Ramaphosa back in office for another 5 years after the May 29 January election produced no outright winner, and the election marked a historic turning point for South Africa, ending 3 decades of dominance. Others injured. Thailand has become the first African country in Southeast Asia to legalize same-sex marriage by a historic parliamentary vote of campaigners. The Senate Upper House gave final approval by 130 votes to 4, with 18 abstentions to charges to the marriage law, allowing same-sex couples to tie the knot. The new legislation will now go to King Maya for royal assent and come into force 120 days after publication in the official Royal Gazette. Thailand will become only the 3rd place in Asia where same-sex couples can get hitched after Taiwan and Nepal, and activists are hoping the first weddings could be celebrated as early as October. Massacring should unrealistic minimum wage happen. The new legislation changes references to men, women, husbands and wives in marriage laws to gender-neutral terms, and also gives same-sex couples the same right as heterosexual ones when it comes to adoption and inheritance. Of drug suspects were killed by police and unknown gunmen in a campaign that became the centerpiece of Duterte's 2016 to 2022 rule, a crackdown that critics described as state-sponsored extrajudicial killings and is now the subject of an investigation by the International Criminal Court. The family has alleged more than a dozen police officers took part in a nighttime raid at the northern Manila slum community, and also insisted that the two were not involved in drugs and were unarmed when police opened fire, while the defendants pleaded self-defense, alleging the suspect were armed and had shot at them. Head of NATO has indicted China for supporting Russia's war in Ukraine. Jens Stoltenberg said Beijing was trying to get it both ways by supporting Russia's war effort while also trying to maintain relationships with European allies. Stoltenberg also addressed nuclear weapons and defense spending when Russia shows no sign of easing its war against Ukraine. He said China was sharing a lot of technologies like microelectronics, which are key for Russia to build missiles, weapons they use against Ukraine. Beijing is already under some sanctions for its support for Russia last month, while the U.S. declared restrictions that would target about 20 firms based in China and Hong Kong. Priyanka Gandhi, sister of India's main opposition Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, says she is planning to contest her first election ending decades of anticipation by her supporters. Gandhi is a descendant of the Nehru Gandhi family, India's most famous political dynasty, and her electoral debut will be closely watched and will contest the Wayanad seat in the southern Indian state of Kerala after her brother relinquishes it. A win for Gandhi would mean the presence of all three Gandhi family members in the Indian parliament, while her mother Sonia Gandhi, former president of the Congress party, is an MP in the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the parliament. Gandhi, who was represented Yanad as the member of parliament since 2019, is given the seat-up as he can only retain one parliamentary seat under Indian law, and also thank the people of Wayanad for their love, affection and support. However, a date for the by-election is yet to be announced, but Gandhi says she is not nervous at all. And Zamalek. French Football Federation has confirmed France captain Kylian Mbappe has been diagnosed with a broken nose after an injury during Monday's 1-0 Euro 2024 win over Austria. In a statement, the French Football Federation said Kylian Mbappe suffered a broken nose during the second part of the Austria-France held this Monday in Düsseldorf. However, in a boost for the 2018 World Cup winners, the Federation said the striker will not require surgery. Nigeria forward David Okereke will return to his parent club after Torino failed to trigger the option to sign him on a permanent deal. Okereke linked up with Torino on a 6-month loan deal in January with a purchase option. The 26-year-old failed to register a goal on and assisted 9 appearances for the Maroons, while the deadline for activating the purchase clause expired on June 14. Cremonese are now expected to sell the player, who has just 1 year remaining on his contract and has registered 11 goals and 5 assists in 57 appearances across all competitions since linking up with Cremonese from Belgian Pro League outfit Club Brugge in 2022. Despite England's victory against Serbia in their opening game of the Euro 2024 Championship in Germany, former Manchester United midfielder Paul has told manager Gareth Southgate he made a mistake not taking Marcus Rashford or Jack Grealish to the tournament. Marcus Rashford and Grealish were surprising omissions from the three-line squad, especially after the former had helped Manchester City win the Premier League last season. Eagles' 1-0 win against Serbia was not convincing, with Jude Bellingham scoring the 13-minute header. Despite England's victory against Serbia in their opening game of the Euro 2024 Championship in Germany, former Manchester United midfielder Paul has told manager Gareth Southgate he made a mistake not taking Marcus Rashford or Jack Grealish to the tournament. Marcus Rashford and Grealish were surprising omissions from the three-line squad, especially after the former had helped Manchester City win the Premier League last season. Now, entertainment news. Actors Guild of Nigeria held a candlelight procession to pay tribute to late Nollywood actors John Okafor, popularly known as Mr. Ibu, Amechi Monago and Zulu Adigwe. This is coming when fans and friends of the late veterans gathered for the procession at the Unity Fountain in Monday night in Abuja. The procession was led by Emeka Rollas, national president of the Actors Guild. Other than that, it raised serious concerns about the integrity and thoroughness of the investigation by the police and the medical team into Mohbad's death. The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, while responding to inquiries of online